We'll get started in about a few more seconds now. I'll wait till 9:30 at the top of the bottom of the hour, I should say. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everyone's doing very well. So I will get started now. Good evening, everyone. My name is Debbie Wetzler, and I'll be your host tonight to share how ASEA, the company and the product, are changing the world. And to introduce myself just a little, I'm a single mom with a mother of two beautiful children and two beautiful grandchildren living in Maryland, and that's the East Coast of the United States for anyone who's geographically challenged out there. I've been a businesswoman and entrepreneur my whole life. But unfortunately, one of the companies I was helping in 2008 went bankrupt, and I was left with absolutely no money coming in, going through all my savings very, very quickly. I felt really hopeless and alone while trying to keep up a good face in front of my daughter and my older mother. I finally was about to lose my home to foreclosure and felt completely lost, not knowing what I was going to do at all. The night I got the foreclosure letter, I got on my knees and I put out a very big prayer. Please, God, send me something that I can help people with, but that I can also use to turn around and restore my financial dignity. I went to sleep so upset that night, but the very next morning, Cindy Buck from Colorado called me about ASEA, and I just looked up and said thank you. I ran downstairs to watch the video she sent, and when I watched it 4 times, I just looked and I thought to myself, if this is true, and I did trust Cindy completely, so I instinctively knew it was true, then this has got to be huge. So to learn more about it, I took it to a molecular biologist who had graduated from Johns Hopkins and was working at our largest institute of health here in the DC area. She looked at the information and almost fell off her chair. She'd been studying these molecules for 17 years, she told me, and she could not believe that somebody had finally stabilized these molecules outside the human body in a bioactive form. She explained more about what they did with a research book that she had right there in front of her. They activate our antioxidants, she told me, and those are very important substances that balance our immune system, neutralize free radicals, detoxify you, and inhibits oxidation. But they are also signaling molecules, and those signaling molecules are communicators. And it affects literally every system in your body. So cells that are anywhere in any system, and these really do go to every single cell in our body. So the communicating cells are meant to protect our cells. Our cells are supposed to be healthy. And our skin is our largest organ, but then you've got so many cells inside of your body also. And these communicator cells are meant to protect our cells. But of course, due to stress and toxins around us at all times, we are constantly getting damage to cells going on in our bodies and injuries and all kinds of stuff. So then they're meant to go and detect those damaged cells. And again, anywhere. She even told me these were so small they crossed the blood-brain barrier and that we were going to have amazing results with any kind of brain issue. And when they detect a damaged cell, they are supposed to send a very clear message or signal to the immune system. The immune system comes in, and if they can repair the damaged cell and make it healthy again, then they repair it. And now you've got 2 healthy cells again. But if one is so badly damaged that it can't repair it, it tells that cell to kill itself off. The body takes that cell away, and a healthy cell next to it will reproduce another healthy cell. And then that way it will replace the unhealthy cell with a healthy one. And again, these redox molecules are the signals that allow your cells to communicate their vital methods for health and healing with clarity and precision to the immune system so they can all be taken care of and they're all healthy again. Now, the problem is, as we get older, something happens at age of puberty, about 10 for most people, and we start producing less and less of these. 1% every year we're alive past the age of puberty. So by the time we get to 70, we're at about 10% of what we used to make. Now, these are made in every cell of our body, and we have had absolutely no way to replenish any of the redox molecules in our body for that long until ASEA. And doctors have seen things they never thought they would see by being able to replace redox molecules. And you can always tell the difference, I always say, between a 70-year-old and a 5-year-old by the way they heal and the energy they have. So you can definitely tell the difference and what redox molecules are doing inside the body. You can see the difference. She also told me this was one of the fastest growing areas of science and one of the largest in the world. And she showed me some of the textbooks and everything that she had right in her office that night. There'd been over 1,200 books written and published on redox biochemistry. And we went to pubmed.gov, which is an international public library of health. It was started at our National Institute of Health by Dr. David Lipton. And doctors do studies, and then they're peer-reviewed by other doctors, and then they're able to publish them there. And at the time, this was 8 years ago now, there were maybe 3,000 peer-reviewed studies on redox. Now, when I went about a month ago, there's over 65,000 peer-reviewed case studies. So they're publishing them at an extraordinary rate of well over 100 a month at this point. And you can do that research yourself. That has really nothing to do with ASEA, except that we are redox molecules. So then she looked up ASEA, and she saw that it was 100% safe, completely non-toxic, zero toxicity, proven effective, native to the body, and she got on it right away. She was astounded. She, like I said, couldn't believe it. And now they make a gel form of the redox molecules, which again help your skin cells, but of course it penetrates. And it helps you look younger and be younger, and that took another 2 years to be able to create it in a gel form because they're so reactive, they react with everything. But I can tell you right now, if you take that gel and you rub it on 3 times in 5 minutes, if you have any muscle or joint discomfort anywhere, 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 times, that discomfort will disappear in a few minutes. That's what's very telling and very quick and easy to test on yourself. So please, if you have some there with you tonight, rub that on anyone who's having muscle or joint discomfort and see what happens. And since a picture is worth 1,000 words, I'd like to show you some of the outside of people's, what they look like after using the redox molecules on their skin cells. And you can see the extraordinary results in just 28 days. And it's called Renew 28 because when you're young, your skin cells regenerate every 28 days. But as you get older, it gets slower and slower. So you go to 40 days, then 50, then 100. And you start getting bags and wrinkles and age spots and all the things that you don't want on your skin. And this really helps regenerate skin cells faster, and those start disappearing and going away. So you can see the extraordinary results in that lady's neck after using this for 28 days. We could not believe it. We know her, but we know all these people. And she lives in Sweden, and we just couldn't believe the difference. That man is a good friend of mine. He's a research veterinarian, and he just used it on half of his face. So you could see the difference clearly in one half of his face. The man there with his horrible crack in his heel, that only took a week to heal. And those are very painful. And we've had all kinds of people with all kinds of horrible burns or injuries or things that would have left us scars on their face or anywhere else on their body. And you truly can't even see any of the scarring or any of the things that happened to that poor woman. And even the outgrowth on the eye there, those are damaged cells. They're not supposed to be there. So they get the communication not to reproduce, and they go away. And then the rashes, we have all kinds of different rashes that affect our body. And that just disappeared in 3 weeks for her. This is my favorite story. This is Rosie. She went in, her doctor had taken a before shot, luckily for us. And she went in and told her doctor she didn't think anything was happening, and she didn't want to use it anymore. And she wanted him to stop the auto ship. And he just smiled. And he took a picture of her. And he put the two pictures side by side next to her and slid them over and said, Rosie, why don't you look at these and tell me if you really do want to stop using this product? And she was astounded. She could not believe what she saw in just 7 weeks' time. And now she looks even better. I just don't have the up-to-date version of this, but it was extraordinary. So going back to my story, I had gotten the information from the molecular biologist, and now I wanted to check out the company. If I was actually going to, I knew I was going to use the product, but now I wanted to check out the company. If I was going to do this as a business, I wanted to make sure the company was rock solid. I wanted to make sure that the people I worked with were people of integrity and that I could trust them. And I wanted to meet the founders and the owners, and I wanted to meet the field leaders, and I wanted to meet some of the other people working in ASEA. So I was able to put myself together and get to the launch of the product 2 weeks later. And that happened in Las Vegas. And I was astounded. Now, these are our world headquarters now in Salt Lake City. We didn't have them then, this world headquarters. This was just built. This is how solid the company has become, even more solid. But I can tell you that when I flew there, I got to meet our founders, Virtus and Tyler Norton. And I don't think I could be any more impressed with two men. Virtus had been vice president of strategy for Kraft Foods, Hobart, Dart and Kraft. He turned around companies and departments so quickly, and they went to the top in the production. So I knew immediately he knew how to run a company because he had an extraordinary background, which of course they shared with us. And at the time, when I got there, they were already in the black. They had gotten to the black in 7 months' time. I was astounded. No new company hardly ever does that. And they're in the red, and they run in the red for 2 to 3 years normally. And then they get to the black if they're lucky. Some companies go out of business before then. Many, many do. But now we don't have the new statistics for this past year, but in 2016, we did it over 400 million. Nearly 90 million of it in 2016. We've had significant growth every single year. Our sales should exceed over $1 million this year, 100 million this year, and projected to reach $1 billion within 5 to 7 years. And ASEA is positioned to head up the growth that will be coming in 3 of the biggest industries in the world. They're trillion-dollar industries, each one of them: health and wellness, athletic performance, and anti-aging. And we are a cutting-edge product, one-of-a-kind product in each and every single one of those areas. I'd say we're about to hit growth here, momentum. We also produce our own products, which is wonderful. So we have the quality control over them. Nobody can copy them. They have many, many patents on it, so it can't be copied. We're the only company that has these redox molecules. The facility is in Salt Lake again, and they ship to 12 different global distribution centers around the world. We're FDA registered, GMP, and NSF compliant. They've never seen a cleaner facility ever, with absolutely no bacteria anywhere. Of course, ASEA is completely antiseptic. And we have an annual capacity of almost $1 billion in product. We're scalable. We can grow to that very quickly within a week or two. And we have an internationally compatible IT network at this point. So the company has proven itself over and over to be rock solid. They know how to run this company. It's not going anywhere. We are now currently in 30 markets. I haven't updated this slide. I apologize. Now we have blue marks in 5 Asian countries: Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore, Philippines, and Hong Kong. And now we've gone into Colombia and South America and the Dominican Republic. And most all of Europe, of course, North America, and Australia and New Zealand. We are growing and growing, and this product is working, or we wouldn't be in all those countries doing such great business. But the story is what got me, I think, the most. Virtus was able to stand on stage that weekend and tell us the story of how ASEA got started. And I was astounded and completely moved by it. Because this company didn't start as a company with a product. This actually was a huge area of science that had to form a company to get it to the world. So Virtus was asked through Tyler to sit on the company before this was ASEA. And this company had been playing with salt and water for some reason. And they had created these redox molecules, only they didn't know they were redox molecules. And they were very unstable, and they would turn back into salt water within 5 minutes after producing them. And so they didn't do anybody any good as salt water, but when they were redox, the lab technicians were drinking these and having extraordinary health results. So this company was trying to figure out what this was, and they were sending it down indications which cost millions of dollars to prove that it turned around some very significant health challenges, but they still couldn't figure out what it is, or they couldn't stabilize it. So it was doing them absolutely no good. It was just costing them money. And they asked Virtus to help them financially. And he got to try these when he sat there. And he was in his very late 60s, and he started feeling like he was in his 30s again. And so he knew they had something, but he couldn't help them financially. They had already dug themselves too deep. And so when they started selling off assets and he had stepped aside, he went in with a group of investors and bought the formula for this product. And then he was able to meet Dr. Gary Samuelson, an atomic medical physicist. And he did a lot of research to finally figure out and be astounded by the fact that these people had created redox molecules the same as in every cell of your body. He just was blown away by what he found. And then he and a team of scientists were able to come together and stabilize this product, meaning that they create them out of salt and water, then they're stable in the bottles until they get to you. And when you drink them, they're very reactive. And the minute they touch the organic tissue of your body, they go right to work, and your body knows exactly what to do with them because they're native to your body. Your body recognizes them and says, okay, go find some damaged cells and help me heal it. And so that's what happens. So then Virtus, he was almost 70, and this was a business deal for him. And so he decided to get it on 40 people as a focus group, just for one last area of proof, basically. And he picked 40 of his friends and family. 6 of them were only given a couple of months to live. And he said, drink as much as you want. I just want to get back to you, and there is a perceived health benefit. And so he went back after 2.5 months, and in 2.5 months, all 40 of them had turned around so much that they then had passed it on to friends and family, 135 more in 20 countries. And he had what he wanted. And so Virtus called the pharmaceutical company he'd been talking with, and they came in, and they got to see all the medical scientific evidence. They got to see the studies. They got to see the white papers. They got to see everything. And they were prepared to give him a check so large that he did not go anywhere else. And he was all set to take that check until they said, but if you take this check, you and all 40 of those people and all the other 135 all come off the product. And we virtually shut you down. And Virtus said it was at that moment that he realized this had become so much more than a business deal for him. This had become a mission. This had become a purpose. He wanted to leave a legacy for the world. And he also could not look those people in the eye, especially those 6 people, and tell them they couldn't have the product anymore. So being in full integrity, he turned down that check. And I think every single one of us on ASEA now thank him every single day for that, or we would have never heard about this. And he had to go home to his wife that night and tell him he was coming out of retirement again, because if he didn't start this company, no one was ever going to hear about this. So again, thank you, Virtus, and thank you, Tyler, for everything you've done for us and for changing so many people's lives in the meantime. We've had so much validation with our product. We have taken this to so many institutes for testing and research and all kinds of stuff, and and I will go into a few of those in just a second, but things like these articles come out actually quite more and more often now. The Huffington Post a couple of years ago put out 5 emerging technologies in science that will shape our lives in the coming year. And out of those 5 emerging technologies, number 4 is redox signaling technology. And I have to say very proudly that of all those 5 emerging technologies, there's only one of them with a product behind it, and that is redox signaling technology. And they did list ASEA as that product. We were very proud of that day, that they picked up on it. And the other ones are very interesting, but I'm very happy that I've jumped on this product and I've been using it for over 7 years at this point. So these are some of the institutes, and you can look them up. They're very esteemed institutes that have done research with our products. Stevens and Associates out of Dallas, Texas has tested the gel to prove that it increases blood flow by over 50% in 15 minutes, and it stays up for 96 hours. And we all know what blood flow does for healing. And it also tested to prove that this regenerates skin cells 16% faster. So you actually are getting younger and younger looking cells. It's amazing. BioAgilytix, a PhD-run facility in North Carolina. They test 8 out of the top 10 products, pharmaceutical and biotech products, for their ingredients. We say we're redox. They test every batch to prove that there's millions of redox molecules in every bottle, and then they stamp the back of our bottles. Dermatest Labs in Germany. They tested all of our skincare products to prove that they're astounded, first of all, to prove that it really does take away wrinkles. It regenerates skin. It gives you more elasticity and hydration. And they were astounded to see that 90% of the participants wanted to buy the product when they were finished testing them for it. They had never had that happen. The North Carolina Research Campus, the Human Performance Lab in North Carolina, associated with Duke, Appalachian State, North Carolina State, and 3 others, did a metabolite test. Now, metabolites are the blueprints of your cell, and this changed so many different metabolites. They were astounded. And they also proved that you go into fatty acid metabolism within a few minutes of drinking the product. Now, I can't tell you what that does for athletes, or I can try. If you're going into fatty acid metabolism, you're using fatty acids instead of glycogen from your muscles in your brain to do your athletic ability in your feats. And that gives you so much more endurance and stamina. And you can go that much further and faster and longer and stronger. And then you recover faster because you're healing faster. So we've had all kinds of athletes on this product. It's approved by WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association. It's also been approved by the Olympic Training Committee. We have 2 gold Olympic medalists on this product who have been on the product since 2009 and done some extraordinary things in the meantime with it. Both of them swimmers, by the way. But many, many, many Ironmen and triathletes who have had amazing feats. We have the oldest woman at 73, Iron woman, #1 in the world, and she's on this product, Dexter Yeager. And Pacific Northwest Labs that are testing for safety and the antioxidant tests. So we've had a lot of tests done to prove what we are and who we are. But the last one that just came out was pretty extraordinary. We went to Turow Labs, and many people know Turow Labs. It's a gene testing lab, and a lot of people know what genes are now, thanks to Ancestry.com. You send in your blood, and they test your genes, and they can tell you what countries and stuff you're from. Well, they can tell a lot of things if they test genes, and that's what they did for us. And they found that in testing ASEA, they used ASEA as the redox molecules, and they used the saline solution that we make it out of as the other substance. It was a double-blind crossover study to prove again that, it's the salt water doesn't do anything for you, but redox molecules do. And it proved that this lit up and turned back on 5 genes that affect people around the world all the time. And they play a key role in activating dozens of other genetic pathways, these 5 genes, that significantly impact human health. Now, just one of the genes that lit up for us, these are the pathways that this gene also affects. So this is spinal cord injury, sudden infant death syndrome, insulin signaling, human thyroid stimulation, ovarian infertility genes, serotonin receptors, which keep you happy, and circadian rhythm. And I can tell you that across the board, I would say everybody on ASEA, their testimonial that's all alike is that you get a very, very deep, restful sleep when you finally get on ASEA. And people start dreaming again. And that's when you're in a very deep level 5 sleep, which is where you heal the fastest. If you take something to help your sleep, like a drug, you only get into level 2 sleep. You never get into that deep, restful sleep. So ASEA is known for doing that for people. So I can say that we have a new bottle. We are ASEA Redox. It is a cell signaling supplement. And on the back of that bottle now is printed that study and the 5 genes that this does affect. And these are language that people will understand. It's language that people know. They may not know what redox molecules are, but now they understand what they can do for your body. So ASEA Redox Cell Signaling Supplement contains active redox molecules, cellular messengers that affect genetic expression in a positive way, helping to protect, rejuvenate, and keep cells functioning at optimal levels. ASEA Redox users enjoy cell signaling benefits, which translates to health at its most foundational level. ASEA Redox has been significantly tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways or affect genes that improve immune system health, help maintain a healthy inflammatory response, help maintain cardiovascular health and support arterial elasticity, improve gut health and digestive enzyme production, and modulate hormone balance to support vitality and wellness. I can tell you that everybody in the world is affected by at least one of those. We all at least have some inflammation in us. But these things affect people 80 and 90% of the time. And when this lights up the gene and gets it to work 20 to 31% better than what it was doing, which is extraordinary, your whole body lights up and you are definitely healthier. And like I said, doctors have seen things they never thought they would see when you get more redox molecules into your body. Things that they never thought could happen. So with all this information, people are always kind of asking, okay, so what do you want me to do with all this information? Well, there's reasons why you take a look at stuff like this. You may have a health issue yourself. Someone you love might have a health issue. You might want to just look younger. And trust me, every time I've taken a poll, there's not one person that raises their hand if I ask if you want to look older. Maybe you don't want to have health issues in the future. You want a better athletic performance, no matter what level you're at. You may be a backyard warrior. You may just work hard every day and need the endurance every day for your job. You may want to have more purpose in life. And I know I have a treasure chest of thank you notes from people who have said, thank you so much for sharing this information because you were able to touch my life and change it for so much better. Or you may want an additional stream of income to achieve your dreams and goals. And there's nothing better than making a difference while making a living by helping people. And some people just want to get their product paid for. So you have an additional stream of income coming in because you share this with people. And so that's exactly what I did. When I learned all this and I went on my journey to find out all of the information I've just shared with you, I wanted to share it with my friends. I told everybody about it. I said, basically, I don't care what you do, but I care about you and I want you to know about this and that it's here and that it can help people. And I make referrals every day anyway. I tell people about restaurants or movies or good products or anything else, but I never get paid for them going to see that movie. But in ASEA, I do because I've taken the time to learn and share the information. And I'm part of their marketing arm for them. So I get paid if they decide to use the product month after month, year after year. That's what's called residual income. I have residual bills. Why not have the residual income that goes with that? But I can also tell you one other thing. When my mother came to the end of her life, I was able to sit back and take care of her and have my checks come in every single week. I would have never been able to do that with a regular job that I had to go through to every single day. And that gave me so much joy to be able to be there for her and take care of her and love her and let her know how much she was loved. And that's what residual income can give you, that freedom. But I'm also paid on the people that I've talked to have referred and their friends and so on and so on. There are actually 8 different ways to get paid in this company, and I'm not going to go into them. But if you'd like to know more about that, we can get you the information. You can talk to your host tonight, and if they don't know, if they're brand new, because you don't need to know anything to get started in this, they can get you on the phone with a team member, and we're happy to explain it. So how it started is that I just told a few people, and they told a few people, and then it just continued, and it grew all over. And I can tell you that I didn't know people in Asia personally, and I didn't know people in Europe personally, but my whole organization in Australia, my whole organization grew to all these different areas. And I have been so touched by going to all these different countries and meeting people and knowing that we're all human and we all have the same basic needs and wants and the same testimonials and beautiful stories, but the differences in the cultures are so wonderful to see. So you can have an American distribution channel or an Asian one or a European one or an Australian one or now South America one or a Dominican Republic one. And have fun in your life and go help those people and just meet new people. And the lifestyle that this affords you is incredible. There are all kinds of trips and incentives and gifts that you're given just by going above and beyond and putting yourself out there and teaching people about redox and having them have the testimonials that they do have and all the changes in their life. We have so much fun together. It's become a family. They've become some of my best friends in the world. We go places together. We laugh. We share secrets. We share stories. They're there to support me and to have my back. And we just have so much fun together. And we make memories. I just was able to take a cruise with my family over Thanksgiving and make all kinds of memories with my family and have my check come the next week after having done nothing because I had absolutely no internet connection. But we just went to Panama, as you can see. I mean, it was extraordinary to see the canal. Just an extraordinary life. The decision is completely up to you. What you want to do with this is completely up to you. You might have no interest in it all, and that's fine. But do keep in touch with the person who is introducing this to you because we are constantly doing new research, and you have no idea what's coming out that may affect you in your life in the future. So keep in touch. You might want to try the product retail. Not many people do, but if you just want to buy a case, I can definitely tell you to try the product, to give it 90 days at least, because most of your cells regenerate in a 90-day period. And sometimes it takes that long for you to feel something. It works very quickly, but it's things that you don't feel. And so give it 90 days. And if you do it for 90 days, you might want to try the product and get it at wholesale by being a preferred customer and having it shipped to you once a month. You can cancel that at any time, but you get your product for wholesale and then you can give it the 90-day trial. Or you might want to think about sharing the product if it really does work like I'm saying, and I can tell you that it does. And you might want to sign up as an associate and you get even more benefits. You get everything at wholesale, you get they subsidize the shipping and you get better deals at a wholesale, and you get your own free website so that you can actually have people go to your website and look at all the science and all the different details and share it and be able to sign up people to get their own product that way. And that's what I did. And before I could even get started, Cindy had already put people underneath me. We have 2 sides, and so she was putting people on my side, and I was benefiting from those products and the volumes that we're going through. So think about it, because the faster I got in, the more people I had underneath me. You might want to create something special and have your own source of a very good additional income, or you may want to just go out and have the life of your dreams. The decision is completely up to you. We're here to help you in any way. We work as one big team, and we don't leave anyone behind. I'll put it that way. So ASEA, our mission, and many of our missions privately, is to better people's lives and be a force for good in the world. And with your help, we can and will change the world. We're doing a pretty good job ourselves right now. We would always love the help. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now and just tell you thank you for listening tonight. If you have questions, we can do phone calls. We can get you on other calls. I'm sorry we're not able to be interactive tonight. At the bottom of the hour, if you have anybody else that wants to listen to this information, I'm doing this one more time tonight at the bottom of the next hour, whatever time zone you're in. So please feel free to share this information, and I look forward to talking to you in the future. Thank you very much, and good night.